And what is up, Evil Dead fans all over the world? Fans of Bruce Campbell, fans of the Evil Dead, and fans of the horror movie franchise as a whole. Now, last month just wrapped. Halloween was yesterday. Didn't really do anything. You know, I said I was going to watch some horror flicks, but that ended up not happening. So I was basically making content, enjoying my life. You know how I do. But since the Evil Dead franchise is celebrating 40th anniversary, and boy oh boy, this franchise has come a long way since 1981. And we're finna get into this article right now. We cannot get a distributor in the United States, said Bruce Campbell, who starred as protagonist Ash Williams, a college student vacationing in Tennessee, who, after happening upon a book ominously titled The Book of the Dead, becoming the target of supernatural forces emanating from the surrounding woods. Ellen Sidweiss and Bessie Baker co-starred in the film, which was written and directed by a future Spider-Man filmmaker, Sam Raimi. But the low budget, alternately silly and grisly film was a long way from a sure bet. I'm gonna read it to you one more time. Ellen Sidweiss and Bessie Baker co-starred in the film, which was written and directed by a future Spider-Man filmmaker, Sam Raimi. But the low-budget, alternately silly and grisly film was a long way from a sure bet. That was much better of mine. Now, I have watched this movie earlier this year, and if you go on my TikTok, I just explained to you my top 3 films from the 80s. And I also mentioned Sam Raimi, who became a Spider-Man director in the Spider-Man trilogy, although the third one was crap. But in any case, the Evil Dead franchise has been one of my favorites since the first time watching it. I wasn't born in the 80s, but after watching it this year for the first time, early on, my love for the horror films became so real to the point where I just want more and more horror films to be like The Evil Dead. Why? Because the film is iconic. You cannot go wrong with it. Nobody was interested, said Campbell, 63 years old. I didn't know he was 60s. We got a company, Palace Pictures, over in the UK. It was sold to them through this great fortune sales agent we had, Ivor Shapiro, who took us by the hand. So basically, nobody at the time did not want this film at all. So apparently one guy was able to take them by his own wing and create something that will live on for the rest of film's history. After becoming a hit with the audience overseas, The Evil Dead found its way to American screens with the limited release in 1982. The film acquired devoted fans thanks to that release, as well as a robust presence on home video. Now, in recognition of its 40th anniversary, The Evil Dead will return to theaters nationwide on October 7th. In Greater Columbus, Eastern 30 Link, Lennox 24, and Polaris 18 will be showing the movie, which includes a film introduction by Campbell. This was old. If I would have known that this was a while back, I would have probably even did this article right there and then. The irony is where, in more theaters 40 years later than we were in the original got released, Campbell said. Wow, what a world out there. The road to cinematic immediately was not an easy one. In a recent interview with the Dispatch, Campbell, a native of Royal Oak, Michigan, recounted a tremendous... Okay, I can't even say this word, so I'm just going to skip that. Well, I could say recounted a time filming process in rural Tennessee. When asking for a low points, he was blunt. So apparently, he wanted to make sure that they were in the right filming location to make this movie. And believe me when I say this, I was watching different videos on YouTube of the Evil Dead filming location. And I found out that the cabin in the woods was not there anymore. But I did see the fireplace and the basement door on the ground floor. I was still able to see some of the stuff from the cabin. And let me just say this right here. If they were, okay, we know they're making a reboot of The Evil Dead, but it's not going to be filmed in Tennessee or Cabin in the Woods. They're going to be filming in New Zealand. Or in London. I don't know how they're going to do it. It probably won't be like the 1981 film or the 87 sequel. Just know The Evil Dead is still The Evil Dead. Now, I've seen chunks of the 2013 remake. I'm not really a fan of that. It doesn't scream The Evil Dead. It doesn't remind me of The Evil Dead. It was just not it. You were in a cabin that had not been occupied in decades and had no power or running water, no sewage, no nothing. It was kind of like camping out for 12 weeks, but meanwhile, you're trying to do the movie. You know what? I think the one thing we should all learn in life is when you're doing a movie, make sure that the location that you're filming, it has power, it has heat, it has air, food, water, drinks. Make sure the environment that you're in is safe. But at least they all survive. Well, they all survive. I said survive. Survive in Tennessee, the middle of a deadly cold weather. And I've seen this on YouTube when the narrator said that the temperature of Tennessee was so bad that everything was just turning to ice. The pipes were messed up. The AC was not even working. And the conditions were not that great. So I think it was around January of 1980 when I think they finished the film in 1980 just to make sure that everything was perfect for a low budget movie. Acting in such an environment might sound next to impossible, but Campbell said it wasn't much for an issue. There wasn't much acting required. You were cold, you were miserable, you were covered in blood, he said. Some actors have to run around in circles to do push-ups, slap yourself in the face to get ready. We were miserable all day long. We were good to go. You were miserable all day long, but you were good to go. It seems like you're just forcing yourself to get ready for a next shot or next scene. Because when you crack under pressure, you will know it's going to get really hard to be on camera. If the script is not good, there's something that's wrong. Meanwhile, after wrapping the initial 12-week shoot in 1979. I was wrong about that. Only 2/3 of the movie was in the can. Periods of additional photography followed. Wow. By the time the movie was unveiled for a crowd of 1,100 people at the historic theater in Rickford, Michigan, neither cast nor crew quite knew what they had to come with. There was a lot more laughter than we thought because of the over-the-top violence, because of the kooky dialogue, the cheesy acting, Campbell said. The audiences laughed at all kinds of stuff, and we were very happy about that. I mean, it really goes to show you that not every film has to be Oscar-worthy in terms of making a low-budget or a big-budget film. It doesn't matter which budget you got. Just use what you have and try to make it the best out of it. And even if the audience laughed at the corny jokes sometimes, there will be some serious actions in movies that it's going to make the movie wild. And that's saying something. And although the original movie was ultimately popular enough to generate 2 sequels, or a reboot, and a TV series, Campbell said, that wasn't until recently that he came to fully appreciate the artistry behind the horror. And I think I tend to agree on that. Because as an actor, you want to appreciate what they have and what you've done for the industry some years ago. And what people can look back at the film now and say, that film meant so much to the community. It really inspired horror films to want to be like that. Because of his delivery, because of his directing, good shots, good quality images. And it's still, to this day, it's one of the best films of all time. Like, you cannot go wrong about that. It's got rough edges, Campbell said. But cinematically, it remains a tour de force. There are parts of that movie, he said, that are visually stunning. And that's why a lot of content creators and a lot of reactors on YouTube have also reacted to this movie, including myself. But then I get claimed for it. I'm still bothered by it, but it's still up there. But I have to say, the Evil Dead franchise is still a cult classic, and it remains the #1 movie of all time. Nothing can beat the original. Not even the 2013 remake can do that. So what exactly did we learn from this article? Even in the entertainment industry, a film that you've done decades ago, people can look back and go, hey, you know what? That film is so good, I can watch it more times. And when you look back at it and realize you've not only done some good to the community, actors and actresses that want to get into horror films. But if they want to make a horror film, call Sam Raimi and have him direct for you. And it would be just as good as the classics, if done right. So hopefully you all enjoyed this video. And shout out to Bruce Campbell. And shout outs to the crew of the Evil Dead franchise. And shout outs to the fans of the Evil Dead franchise. So if you all enjoy this video, leave a like, a comment down below, and share this video. And please follow your boy on social media, because I will be promoting this on my social media platforms. And give your boy a follow. And I'm out of here.